everyone to the Goffstown School Board meeting. I call the meeting to order at 6. If we can stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everybody. Tonight will be a short school board meeting before we head down to deliberative. So I'm going to open to public comment, and I don't see any. So we're going to do a quick manifest. Scott?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve a manifest in the amount of $1,168,995.92.
Scott, do you have copies for us?
I don't have copies
Okay.
of the manifest summary, so maybe
Okay.
I can read it off if you want me to. It's very short.
No, go ahead, Dan.
Please, let's have you read it.
Dan can do it.
Oh, sorry,
Dan's doing
Dan's
it.
already got it.
Yep, go ahead, Dan.
So we have $911,023 for payroll taxes and benefits. Crest Collaborative, out-of-district tuition, $8,128. Durham School Services, in-district and out-of-district transportation, $5,043. Johnson ABA Consulting, SPED contracted services, $6,090. Some out-of-district services from Nashua Children's Alliance for $5,506. Regional services, $32,038. SPED contracted services of $7,678 to Stratford Learning. That's $56,800 for SPED. We have $110,642 of those expenses, $5,000 and over. We paid Blue and Services, or we want to pay Blue and Services, $8,325 for HVAC and plumbing repairs. The Allstate Music Festival registrations to NHMEA for $5,400. Buying some propane from Dead River Company, $31,736. Electricity from Eversource, $35,537. And Impact Fire Service, $29,644 for fire alarm, sprinkler maintenance, and repairs. And $7,100 for food and commodities.
All right, thank you, Dan. So I had a motion from Dan. Do I have a second? Second. By Ellen. Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, we're unanimous. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
All right, so moving on to superintendent's report.
Just a few quick things this evening. I wanted to let the board know that we received notification from the New Hampshire Education Department on two different indicators. The first was what's called Indicator 11, which is the timeliness of initial evaluations in the special education process. We had 100% compliance with that indicator in both Goffstown and New Boston. And the second one is one that's called disproportionality, which is a formula that the Department of Ed uses to identify whether you have too many types of a certain kind of disability and certain race and ethnic features, and we were found to have none in that. So those were positive things. I wanted to let the board know that Mr. Gross and I had a request from Representative Joe Alexander to speak this evening. Joe is asking to address school funding and wants to have a few words this evening. So Mr. Gross and I did speak to our school district moderator. Mr. Raymond is aware of the request, and I believe he's going to give a little bit of time at the end, but I just wanted the board to know that we had that request, and I believe that the moderator will be granting that. And my last piece, a little bit of sad news. We were notified that Mrs. Blanchette, who's a retired teacher from Maple Ave, passed away. So sad. I can't remember how many years ago she retired, but I was.
2019.
Oh, was it that recently? I was trying to remember when she was last working, but sad news nonetheless.
Yes.
So we extend certainly our thoughts go out to her family.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, thank you,
Thank
Bob.
you.
All right, old business. We need to make a decision on the energy management consultant. Scott, do you want to touch upon that a little?
Yeah, sure. So you heard the presentation from EMC, and we've been talking about this for, I don't know, at least a couple of months, 2 or 3 months. And, with the board's approval, we can start on the next steps. And the next steps are really working on the contract language with our attorney and the folks from EMC, and also working on finalizing financing. So you're gonna have another, I guess, bite at the apple in terms of signing signing the contract, but I needed, an EMC needs to know from the board through a vote that it's okay to proceed pending, the due diligence of financing and, and the contract itself.
Alan, go ahead.
I'll move that we approve the EMC, that we continue in discussions with EMC. Is that appropriate? Is that
Well,
what-
I think you're authorizing
Right.
the business administrator to proceed with the EMC project with due diligence for financing and contractual language
You got
with
that?
EMC.
All right.
So moved.
All right, thanks, Alan. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Dan. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Go ahead, Rheta.
Now that Jared's here, maybe he's already talked about this, but I think there was some question about letting the budget committee know, and are
Right.
there any concerns?
Yeah, so I did advise the Budget Committee 2 days after the last meeting. I invited them to come to this meeting as well, and they also got a copy of the EMC packet and all of that, and I did have one Budget Committee member ask me a question, and that was about it.
Okay, thank you.
But Scott, you invited all of them to
Yep.
come this evening if they
And
wanted to.
and we're gonna continue to have that dialogue with them. I mean, once we know what these percentage rates are for financing, that's gonna impact, we could be paying nothing. We could be paying 16,000. It really is gonna depend upon the final percentages. So we're gonna keep them in the loop throughout the process. Because this is a fairly, it's a 15-year project in terms of the contract, the
Right.
financing piece. So we'll keep them informed.
Nicole?
I don't have my notes from last time in front of me, but looking at the numbers, it looked like we were going to get several $1 million worth of projects, or maybe a few $100,000 was the estimate with the current rates. So I think that makes very good financial sense for our district. So I
Yeah.
would support this.
Thanks, Nicole. All right, we have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? All right, we're unanimous. Thank you, Scott. All right, so we're going to move on to staffing. You guys should have your staffing sheets.
Yeah, everybody should have the staffing sheet. So we have a few notifications for track changes, 1 leave of absence, and 1 long-term substitute. For your approval this evening, we have 3 retirements. So we're very happy for these high school teachers. We wish them well.
Nice, all right. So we'll need a motion for the retirements.
I'll enter a motion with mixed emotions to accept the retirements of these 3 individuals.
Thank you, Jared. Who seconded it? Alan? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, we're unanimous. And now the co-curricular.
Yeah, so
sports.
2 co-curricular nominations for Mr. Cowett. One will be for the second half of the year for Future Business Leaders of America, and the second will be for School Store for second half of the year.
All right, so I'll need a motion for that.
Move to accept the co-curriculars as presented.
Thank you, Jared. Alan, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, we're unanimous. All right, that's it, right, with the
That's it.
teachers? Okay, so any other business that may legally come before the meeting?
Oh, just for the record.
Yes.
We did have a technology meeting this evening. It was posted. We had it at 4:30. It was very successful.
Yep.
We worked on 4 policies that'll be coming that impact that, and we'll be talking about them next Monday at the policy subcommittee meeting. Mr. Bouget, or how do I I did pronounce it right. Not French way, but the way he does it. I don't know if he will be present or not. but-
He will be. He'll be at the policy meeting.
Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Dan. When do you meet again? You're not
It
sure?
is when he needs to meet again.
Okay, so we want to make sure we get that on the agenda for you.
Yes, please.
All right, thank you. All right, so we do have a non-public.
We do.
So I'll need a motion to go into
Move
non-public.
to go into non-public pursuant to RSA 91A3 IIC.
All right, by Ellen, do I have a second?
Second.
By Caroline?
No, Ginny.
Oh, Ginny, I'm sorry. Wow, it sounded just like you. All right, I'll do roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes, so we're in non-public, we're going to go down there, and then we'll head to the theater.